a really good reason not to commit a crime is because they have mind reading technology in use now. I'm a first-hand witness. I know that they can read your mind. And it sounds like, science fiction paranoia. I realize that you listening to this, it's reasonable for me to assume that you can't believe that something like that exists. But it does, because when I became a target for uploading reptilian shapeshifter movies to YouTube, with helicopters buzzing me day and night, and at specific times for psychological warfare, feeling of helplessness, can't do anything about it, can't go to the police because they're the ones who's doing it. And but when they were doing this, they would also buzz me at certain thoughts, like violent thoughts. Now, there was an episode of Ghost in the Shell standalone complex where there was a guy who was a low-level employee, but he was a pilot. And the whole episode was based on the fact that they were scoping this guy as being as plotting a terrorist event. Like it just, in the episode, it comes up. You see Major Kusanagi and talking to some other people. Yeah, we got this terrorist plot that seems to be developing, and this guy's at the center of it. So she comes in and tries to get into his life and like start talking to him, and he's like a admirer of hers. But the point is that the whole suspicion that they based it on was his thought patterns, and that's what gets revealed is that because there wasn't any outward appearance that he was doing anything, like any outward evidence, but they knew that he was plotting something. And what that tells me is that on certain thoughts, like if you commit a crime or you're thinking about it, they're going to know in advance. They won't necessarily stop you. They'll wait until you do it. But when you do, there's no denying it, because they've been tracking you for before, during, and after, and they know for sure that you did it, even if you're positive that they have no evidence, because they'll know for sure, and they'll still bust you. In most cases, I mean, if you're one of the elite or something like that, you might, get away with it. But even so, they mostly have to follow the law, because I think that's the way God has it set up. And it's these serpents, I believe, that are in charge. So when it says like the serpents are law enforcement, well, that's true. Well, guys, just to update you on the whole angelic situation that I ran into, I think it's all gone now. I haven't heard from any of them in a long time. And probably I won't hear from my Anna again, I think, not because she's gone, but because I think she lost the ability to communicate. And so what that means is she's probably still around, I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea either way. But she's not talking with me anymore, and her creation isn't talking with me anymore. And that's because we had a little run-in, a little misunderstanding. But that's all I'll really say about that. So anyway, I was thinking that, I shouldn't be upset, that she's gone and it's all gone. We knew that, several of us knew that it was probably Anna's time to go. Most of all her, being a super psychic angel, whatever she was. And so it was expected, and I was happy to be able to give her something, which I was able to do, which is, I benefited too, because I loved her. So actually it was a great thing, that I received, and it was her time to go, and we both experienced love, which we hadn't experienced. Neither one of us had experienced that kind of love before, so it was actually pretty awesome. It's just now it's a little bit lonely because she's gone, and it feels like there was all this action and an interesting buildup, and I didn't realize that it was basically it was only for a short time. You know, in life, sometimes we only get one opportunity of a certain kind. And one thing I learned from this is that if a situation like that were to come up again, and I'm on the fence between going out and experiencing it firsthand and staying home, I'm heading out the door next time. Because see, I was too worried this time about losing everything I have. Because in my situation, as much as I can't get anybody else to understand about this, you know, if you've been in this situation, you know what I'm talking about. But most people haven't been homeless without a choice for years on end. No career, no money, nothing works. There's no relatives or anybody that'll take you in, no friends, nothing. So you're out on the street, and but you're a cognizant person. That's not just sitting there going, you know, on the street. You know, you're not like that. So you're a rational person, but there's nothing you could do about it. So in that situation, a major loss of like a vehicle, like if it gets towed away, oh man, I mean, you're just simply up doo-doo creek. But if I could do it over again, if I could go back in time, which of course that's, you know, ridiculous. You know, you shouldn't be able to do that. You know, you have your chance, and once it's gone, it's gone. But if I could, I would have gone out and seen her and experienced that whole thing firsthand, because those were awesome miracles, you know. I even experienced some of them in my body, but I didn't get to because I was too worried about it. And it could be that God was in control of that whole situation, and it almost seems kind of obscene based on some other information that I know, for me to go out there and leave this place, because I think I'm kind of, shall we say, tied up here. And what I was able to give her was a love, and that's all I could give her. Literally, you can't ship anything from America to Hawaii. You could, to Thailand, because if you can ship from Thailand to America real cheap, but you try to ship something from America to Thailand, oh boy, like hundreds of dollars for the littlest thing. So it's completely out of the question. But because I wanted to send her some stuff, and I put some stuff together, and I even bought some stuff, and I had it ready to go, and I went and got an estimate, and it was like $400 for like something that didn't even weigh that much. So it's totally ridiculous. I mean, I tried, you know, any service, doesn't matter. It costs a ton of money. Anyway, but you know, that's not the only thing you should be able to give somebody. So I'm writing on the book now, and it's a trip reading back over those emails, which I saved because they were so remarkable. And that's how I have the whole record of everything. Although there was some of it I lost, a little bit of it I lost. I lost the record of a first healing that was done, that led to authorities there in the country finding out about it, because they're super psychics that they have working for them. They know everything. See, friends, one of the things that I would share with my friends who are listening is that there are people with superpowers, not just angels and, you know, maybe a few, you know, people. There are all kinds of people out there with superpowers, guys, and they are probably largely like when you see movies about superpowers and stuff. It's what this is not uncommon. It's not outside the boundaries of reality. I mean, we got people doing almost everything that you probably and more that you've seen on TV and movies. So it's quite a world out there, friend. I've ran into several different types personally, firsthand, and so you got all these, and there's people that can control memory. Just, you know, they don't need a machine. It's psychokinesis. They can control your memory. And yeah, so You never know what you're going to run into, and it's kind of cool to know that the world isn't as ordinary as I thought. I thought all that stuff was just on TV. It just doesn't exist in reality. No, it does exist in reality, and even more stuff than you can believe or would be possible. The kind of tragic thing about it, though, is that, for instance, by the way, Super Soldier Talk got moved to Rumble. So if you want to see James Rink and Super Soldier Talk, if you follow him, I'm sure you'll know all that, because he announced it on his channel. But in case you guys want to see, he's got some. I'm taking apart a few clips out of one of his recent interviews with this young lady who was part of a really, basically actually a kind of common to these super soldier experiences that they share, and all these people that are involved, the higher-ups and the people who run these programs, the secret space program, these super soldier programs, they're not immoral, they're extremely immoral, like beyond what you would believe. I mean, raping, torturing, I mean, if they can do all this stuff, and why aren't they organized? Why aren't they civilized? Or they are organized, but boy, they're not civilized. I mean, they torture, they put people in prison and in cages, and these are the people that are their super soldiers that have contracts with them, and they treat them like absolute dirt slaves. And if you don't do what they say, they sell you off to aliens as meat or slaves or something else. If you're intractable, like you don't follow orders or whatever. So and also this young lady, I'll put her name on the screen. It's kind of hard to pronounce her name. It's kind of an unusual name, but I mean, just mind-blowing stuff. And she was ripped apart by reptilians. She had her legs ripped off, her arms ripped off, and she was eaten alive as a child, as a young, like she said she was like 9 years old or something like that. I forget what it was, but by reptilians that looked just like the ones on Jupiter Ascending. Yeah, just like that. And she said that because she said when she saw those reptilians on Jupiter Ascending, she had one of those flashbacks, like a trauma-based flashback, and you just go nuts from it, because she said they looked almost exactly like that, except for without the wings. She was describing, and she said also, because she was a high ability type super soldier, that when you get to a certain abilities, you can shapeshift. So that's all pretty interesting information. By the way, I just want to mention something that in my own targeting, there hasn't been as much buzzing, but there's been a lot of police car activity. Like when I come out of places, there's a police car driving by. When I'm driving, police cars. So there's a little bit of something up. I'm not sure what's happening with that, but it's there's some kind of ramping up, and there's a sense that I'm getting that there's something. I don't know what, like something happening, I'm not sure. Incidentally, something interesting this super soldier girl was saying is that when Trump got into office, their conditions got a lot better. They started getting better treatment and less torture, and things were improving quite a bit. And so that's kind of interesting. So that, if that's true, and of course, it's all speculative, but if it's true, it means that Trump is doing a lot of good things that we don't know about, and he knows about these super soldier programs, rather. And incidentally, that wasn't the first time that I had heard that about the shape-shifting, because I think James Rink himself was saying that he had that ability with a certain type of activation, whatever, of his powers. So I don't know if that lesser helicopter buzzing is maybe it was Anna helping me. I don't know, but something happened, because it's a lot less. But it's gone through ebbs and increases, so this could just be an ebb. But like I said, the police car activity really seemed to pick up, because I've been getting police cars, you know, before, but not really too much, except for that initially, because I was getting on dash cam, so it was really obvious. So they stopped doing that. But like I said, in the last 2-3 weeks, something like that, maybe even a little longer, I've been seeing a lot of police vehicles just driving around. Maybe I don't know. It could be I'm noticing it more. I'm not sure, but I mean, I'm really noticing them, seeing them. My camera's not as fun. There's no one to share photos with anymore. After Anna left, and all the friends that she introduced me to all went away due to the nature of the situation, which I can't tell you what that was, why that happened. And as I've encountered before, not only is she a super soldier, that this girl here, but and has contracts with the deep state, whatever you call it. It's basically Satan's hidden military. But she's also a targeted individual like me and other people who are not part of a secret space program, super soldier training and recruiting program where they go off world and fight with aliens and stuff. So it's quite interesting. And it's interesting how she says in this interview she can't do anything. I mean, go to the movies even. Like, and she was like, if she could get a message out to her handler, she was saying, take me off of Earth because I can't do anything here. Just keep me on base because this place is like, I can't do nothing here, you know? So this was confirmation. I actually was saying to the guy who made those movies, Chris Turner, that I was in. He's got he actually published his full first chapter movie on Uman TV. But it's interesting to see the confirmation because I was saying to him that those reptilians from Jupiter ascending, you know, it kind of seems to me like they look like something like what people are seeing. And then to have this couple of years later, this girl who was in the super soldier program say that they look exactly like that, like very much like that. So it's interesting how actually that guess was close to being correct. Hey David, you were saying this is a Jewish neighborhood? No, it's a Goy neighborhood. Goy. So what I learned is that not just reptilians, but people can shapeshift too, depending on how much abilities they have. Speaking of which, I don't mean to speak against the narrative that I believe and that most Christians believe, which is that when you die, you go to heaven or hell. You face the judgment. Whether you sleep in the dirt for a while, then you come into the resurrection of heaven or hell, still, ultimately, you end up in heaven or hell. And a lot of people, they end up in heaven or hell right away when they die. They don't sleep in the dust with their forefathers waiting for the day of resurrection or whatever. But I know of at least one case of somebody that I know for sure died, and they did not go to heaven or hell, but they continued as whatever a spirit being is. Oh, and another thing that's interesting too about this female super soldier is that you can tell from what she's saying, and they're talking about putting them, they can control the spirit. How, you know, when they take your spirit out of your body, they take your soul out of your body, they can put it into a clone body or something else, and it has, you know, particular attributes of its own. So the soul or spirit body that we can't see with our naked eyes, but it is like it is a physical, you know, thing that has specific characteristics. And also, as I was saying, the scripture tells us that the soul can be ripped apart, so it can be destroyed, according to the scripture. Hey friends, don't forget to check me out on BitChute and Brighteon, where I also have exclusive content that I cannot share on this platform, in case you guys want to check that out. And also, if I go missing, check me out on BitChute and Brighteon.